From Studio DRC at the Daytona Regional Chamber of Commerce, this is the Crest of the Wave. Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Crest of the Wave, the Daytona Regional Chamber's podcast for the business community. My name is Ken Phelps, Vice President of Resource Development here at the Daytona Regional Chamber, and it is hard to believe that here in Studio DRC, we're recording our final episode of 2024. It seems like the year has gone by really fast, and when we take a moment to think back on all that's happened in the year, we thought, what better guest to look back on the year that was, particularly in the city of Daytona Beach, than to have our esteemed mayor of the city of Daytona Beach, Derrick Henry, join us. Mayor Henry, thank you so much for sharing some time. We're looking forward to kind of reflecting on 2024 with you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Ken.
Absolutely. So let's start. Let's just start on some highlights of 2024, and we'll go through some different sectors. But from an economic development standpoint, there's been so much happening in the city with the riverfront esplanade. Downtown Daytona Beach is experiencing a renaissance. You've got investments coming at Embry-Riddle and out near the airport with Boeing and Aero. When you reflect on kind of the economic vitality that we've seen infuse the city of Daytona Beach in the last year, what do you think about?
Well, I think that for many years, we were the only city on the eastern seaboard to have a negative growth rate, and that has changed. In the 12 years that I've been mayor, the excitement about Daytona Beach has really humbled me, made us happy, glad, but also given us some challenges. But for the most part, gratitude that these investors would choose Daytona Beach. Grateful that we have the type of business community that can collaborate to attract these folks, because in each of those situations, you would know that it's been truly a collaborative effort, and also a great deal of recruitment, kind of standing on the mountaintop, going across the world, beating the drum, saying, look at us, we're Daytona Beach, a great place to visit, to bring your business. And then what has happened is that folks have come, and we've been able, because it's one thing to say, come visit us. It's one thing to say that we're a great destination. It's another thing that once these particular companies do their site visits, do their homework, check out the business community, the climate, the city, the county, all of those have to check the right boxes and appear to be an appropriate fit. So after we've done all of those things, they've chosen us. So overwhelmingly glad and humbled on behalf of the city, but excited about the future.
I will tell you, for those of you watching and listening, I will tell you that the collaboration, like what was mentioned by the folks at Aero when they were talking about community and all of the different groups that came together in a welcoming presence, that doesn't happen everywhere where you have the Chamber of Commerce and the municipalities and the county and economic development agencies such as Team Volusia or Volusia County Economic Development, all kind of working on the same page, playing in the sandbox nicely and working to build a strong community. I have chamber colleagues across the country who would love to have an environment like that, and they just don't. I think of the position as mayor as kind of chief cheerleader of the community. You're the one carrying the flag to tout all the great things that are happening. How does that kind of collaboration make your job easier in terms of promoting the city of Daytona Beach?
Makes it a lot easier and a lot more fun and pleasing. I have less fires to put out and more happiness and greatness to sort of proselytize about throughout the community. And of course, being mayor, a lot of times you feel the brunt of that heat, because people will often say, well, he's always singing about our praises. And as you said, I do see myself as our chief cheerleader, and I do recognize our challenges. But as chief cheerleader, it is my agenda, my objective to say, look at us, but also to say, yeah, we know what our challenges are, but this is what makes us a great destination. This is what makes us a team. And I love the name Team Volusia, CEO Business Alliance. Obviously, you folks here at the Chamber and the city and the county, we all kind of come together to make our destination, I think, one of the best in class.
Agreed. We held our Market Watch economic forecast last week. Andy Watts from Brown & Brown talked about the growth in the insurance sector, and that's really becoming a huge industry and helping to diversify our economic base in the community. We have long been known, and I'll transition into this next sector, as a tourism destination. I mean, you've got Bike Week, you've got the Daytona 500, you've got the fabulous beaches all along Volusia County. Tourism is such a critical component of our economy. It's never going to go away. But it has really, we've had some challenges over the last couple of years between a pandemic and storms and that kind of stuff. But we've also seen some interesting growth. There are new brands coming into the city of Daytona Beach. We've got the Hard Rock Hotel open a few years ago. This year, the Renaissance. There's Pop Stroke coming. There's attractions and things that are coming to the area that are new to this market. What are your thoughts on tourism? And obviously, we want to take care of our locals, but the visitors that come to our community every year are such a vital part of our economy.
Well, that's been a process, from one Daytona to what the folks did at the track with a $400 million investment in their facility, to Tanger and all of the things that you've mentioned. All of these things have come over a period of time. And of course, you always want your brand to be enhanced. And I believe that the Renaissance, the Hard Rock are brands that have helped us to be able to say that we are a destination that doesn't have to be second fiddle to anyone. We can be first in line. We're a destination of choice. And we have a little bit for everyone. And I would acknowledge that one of the challenges moving forward that we would like to see us attract, and I think that we're on the cusp of something great happening, is our boardwalk. Because, that's for many years has been our bedrock. Right now, it's not in the condition that we would like in terms of some of the entertainment. And I think as a parent and one who lives here with children, we've had some great additions. Game time, and my kids love that. Sky Zone, all of those things are great, but we want Daytona Beach to be an experience in every part of the community that you visit. And so the boardwalk is one that we're hopeful that in this next cycle, and for me, I consider that to be a term, we want to see something and some things come to our boardwalk, like a Ferris wheel, go-karts, more things to experience on the boardwalk. And I think we're on the cusp of something great.
Very good. Well, as the Chamber of Commerce additional business, we love to see it, and we're happy to help support that. One of the topics that has been so critical, especially with the growth, not just here in the city of Daytona Beach, but the state of Florida. We know about the folks that are moving in on a daily basis. Housing presents a challenge. You bring in these folks in, they've got great jobs, they're going to need a place to live. We're seeing some stuff happen, particularly in the last year, just north of Brown & Brown's headquarters with the 400 Beach project that's finally going vertical now. If you drive down Beach Street, you're able to see some of the construction going up. Projects like the Delta West that has kind of been in the talks for the old First Baptist Church location in downtown. What are your primary concerns from a housing standpoint? Obviously, we want to see growth and high-paying jobs and nice residences for those folks to live in. But we've also got folks who are making closer to a minimum wage kind of salary in various industries that they need to be able to live in their city as well. What are your thoughts on housing, and how do we improve that for everybody?
Well, we have to continue as a city and as a county and a community to partner with folks like the folks at Homes Bring Hope, because I believe that you have to have all sorts of housing options, and your stock needs to be diversified. So we want affordable, we want mid-level, we want high-end, we want all levels. But we have to continue to partner. We have to continue as a city to work on infield redevelopment in the core of our city, some of our older areas, some of our lots and parcels that we have owned or that we have taken over or have an opportunity to take over. We have to continue to do that and continue to work with folks at Mid-Florida who are really kind of honed in on that demographic, because I believe that home ownership is one of the major keys. Then you want to continue to have, and we've seen this, and of course we get some complaints because you see a lot of multi-unit apartment complexes going up, but those are important because they help with the density. I'm so very excited about both projects, seeing 400 Beach Street going up and coming to fruition, and the other project beginning to really take some hold and get the approvals that they need. Because if you want to have a vibrant, beautiful, wonderful downtown, you've got to have people who live there, and preferably people with some disposable income. And both these projects will have folks who we hope will be able to get out, enjoy the beauty of downtown Daytona Beach. And might I just say that I believe that our Riverfront Esplanade is perhaps the best, most beautiful downtown park in all of Florida. And we are so appreciative of Hyatt Brown and C.C. Brown and their vision and commitment and the resources that they put forward. Because now we see downtown coming to life. You see hundreds of people literally daily coming to downtown just to visit that park. So as a community, we have to rally behind the presence of new people to create opportunities, options, spaces to live, food options in the downtown community, and all of those are coming to fruition. But again, Riverfront Esplanade, if you haven't visited, folks, you do yourself a favor and take a visit, and you won't make it your last.
Having walked the Esplanade frequently myself, I echo the mayor's sentiments. It is a gem of a facility, of a park. Just the beauty, being able to walk along, see the riverfront, and if you do it this time of year, it's lit up with their light show. That it's magical. And I think most commonly when you're local, you tend to start to take things for granted a little bit. I often am encouraged by folks I hear that are visiting from out of the area, and they see the Esplanade. And there was somebody that spoke at one of our events just a week ago that came in and walked the Esplanade at my suggestion. She said, it was unbelievable. Just so amazed by it. And as much as she was struck by its natural beauty, she was also struck by the folks who were there. All walks of life, all ages, all backgrounds, all demographics. It really has becoming a gathering place for the community, which I think is fabulous. So, and that's the important part when you're building a downtown. That gives you an anchor for hosting the arts fests and the wine walks and the music festivals. There's been so much happening in the last year in that area.
Yeah, and I would add, and that was when we had the groundbreaking for the park. That's what I referred to it as. I said, this space should be our community's centering space. You've got everything to bring everyone to this space. Whether you are in a mode of protest, reflection, team building, you need just to take your own time for a peaceful, still walk. You've got the legacy of Mary McLeod Bethune. You've got the legacy of Jackie Robinson. You have the beauty, the ambiance of a park that resonates with you, with an individual spiritually. It's an opportunity to introspect. And then you've got the intercoastal waterway overlooking all of that. It's just a majestic space.
I will tell you, if your timing's right and you're very lucky, not only on a beautiful evening will you enjoy a nice walk on the Esplanade, if the weather's right, you might even see a rocket launch go up from the Cape. I have experienced that.
Yeah.
And it just strikes me like, gosh, in Daytona Beach, we just call that Tuesday.
Yes.
Everybody else, that's a once-in-a-lifetime kind of experience. Let's transition now to talk about infrastructure a little bit, because that is such a key component. Infrastructure, it's not a sexy topic. It's a long process and costly. And we had Colleen Nicholin from the Volusia Flagler TPO on a couple of months ago, and she talked about just the length of time between study and development and getting the funding and all of that kind of stuff on infrastructure. But in the city, there's been a lot of improvement over the last year. Miles of roadways that have been paved, parks that have been revitalized and given new life. What are the things in that area that you're most proud of that as a city, we were able to accomplish in this last year?
Well, I'm glad that you asked. From the time that I was elected 12 years ago, I have considered myself, and people, they laugh when I say this, but I do consider myself to be a mayor whose biggest commitment is to our infrastructure. When I took over, we had a budget of $2 million for street repavings and sidewalk repavings. I have convinced our commission to embrace the idea that whatever our budget increases annually, we will make certain that our road, sidewalk, resurfacing projects will keep up with that. So our budget for roads and sidewalks has gone from $2 million to $5 million. And residents will tell you they feel it. They feel the improvements coming to their doorsteps because their streets are being paved at a rate never before seen. So I'm extremely proud about that. And a second goal I've had related to infrastructure is that I have wanted to see us have a park within a 10-minute walk of where everyone lives. It's a sign of a high-quality city, an enhanced quality of life, better health results. All of the metrics that you look for in a healthy city are found in good, healthy, strong parks. And so we have essentially refurbished, revitalized, renewed almost every park in our city's stockpile, which is a beautiful sight to see. And if you visit, now they all aren't to the level of the Esplanade. That is another level, but almost all of our parks are for a community standard. If you go out and see what we were able to do at the Daisy Stocking Park, one of our oldest parks, where we got a grant, a couple $1 million from the state, totally renewed. It's amazing. The Dickerson Center Park, amazing. Henry Lee Park. We're working on Derbyshire Park. All of our parks are looking just pristine, and we're very proud of them.
It kind of follows, having previously worked in retail real estate, follows that broken windows theory. Mm-hmm. Good people don't want to go to a place that looks as if it's run down, that looks like it is struggling, or that there might be bad things that are taking place there. When you can put a nice shine on everything, mm-hmm. and revitalize and put some new life into areas, you're going to attract people, and I think that's a big part of that. So we've spent a few minutes now kind of looking at the last year. Let's pivot just a little bit and kind of look at the horizon. What's coming next for Daytona Beach? So obviously, I think you acknowledged earlier. Each city has its challenges, and I would challenge anybody watching or listening to find a city that doesn't. I mean, everybody wants to say that they've got negative things to say, and that seems to be what they focus on. But I think we've done a good job in this region of addressing the challenges that are coming up. We've seen with storms over the last couple of years, flooding has been a challenge and something like that. Can you share a little bit with our listeners and our viewers kind of what's on the horizon for helping to address those challenges? Because we have seen water in places we haven't seen water before. I think there's some debate about what those causes could be. I don't know that for all the social media you see where everybody says they know what it is. I don't think they have the expertise to determine that. What's coming on the horizon for the city to help address some of those kinds of challenges?
Well, certainly the project with the Army Corps of Engineers is our greatest opportunity to seriously and I won't say permanently, but to seriously address and remediate the flooding. And they have done a great job the last year and a half, 2 years of surveying our community to figure out what we need. And they're in the process of, providing a plan. And what we're trying to do is to make certain that we are prepared when they say that this is what the cost is going to be, and you as a community, and it probably won't rest solely on Daytona Beach because it's a regional problem with that Nova Canal stretching from Port Orange to Ormond Beach. So I believe all of the municipalities and hopefully the county will partner with us to figure out that we have to bring the resources together if they say they can fix it. Of course, we've been able to attract and get some funds from the county, $2 million to get some new lift stations to help with pumping and water removal. So we're excited about that. But the bottom line is our biggest hope for a real permanent solution is the Army Corps of Engineers. And I'm hopeful, and certainly we're trying to build a wide enough, big enough tax base so that and that's what people don't realize. our tax base has increased quite a bit over the last 10, 12 years. Well, we need that so that we have more people to pass that cost on to, because it is our greatest single community problem. It's not a new problem. It's been a problem, flooding in that region for 70 years, we know, or more, really 100 years. You think about Bethune-Cookman and the areas adjacent to that, they're over 120 years old. They have always been low. But since we broaden our tax base, the hope is that we'll have more people to help us to fund that when the time comes.
Yeah, and that's where we see our role at the Chamber of Commerce in helping grow the business community, helping diversify our industry sectors, so that when you have an unfortunate situation like the pandemic and tourism takes such a hard hit during that time, that we've got some other sectors that can help bolster and lift the economy and help everybody get through it. That's going to support those kinds of projects as well. That's one major issue, and I've told people, I've got, for me, 3 real things that I'd like to see us make some deep inroads on. And the floor is yours.
That's one. The second, it's infrastructure, and of course, it's LPGA, where we've made a lot of inroad in terms of having the design for the LPGA widening, the Dunn Avenue extension, which we believe and know will be the first and most important segue to helping to relieve some of the congestion on LPGA. And then, as I said earlier, I'd like to see us have that beachside renaissance, and mainly for our boardwalk. So those are 3 things that we're hopeful over the next 4 or 6 years. And of course, we're excited. And what people don't remember is, when I first became mayor, the number one objective in the community was to get Orange Avenue redone. That was probably number 1 on our list. The second thing on our list was ISB. ISB is in the process of being renewed. So I don't want us to lose sight or to feel as though we forgot about the beachside, because that's just one major thoroughfare. And of course, we know what we've been able to do with ISB from 95 all the way to the bridge. Now that it's taking shape across the bridge, we have to be extremely excited. And the last infrastructure issue that we're really excited about is Mason Avenue and the process of improvement that's underway to take that to the next level. So we got a lot of great infrastructure projects that are in motion. And I think when we wake up one day, we'll all be able to look back and say, look at us, we're growing up.
And I think that when you have somebody like yourself who has the expertise and the knowledge of all of those things happening, it really puts in perspective what Colleen Nicholin was talking about, where you've got all of these projects and they all have a process and they all have to be managed, they all have to be funded, the work has to be done. It just doesn't happen overnight. That's not okay, we're going to build a house in 2 months. Okay, done. If you're paving miles of roadway or redoing that to make it more pedestrian friendly, that's a process, and you need a lot of expertise and some time with that. Well, those are really exciting things. Speaking of exciting things, I want to ask you about this because this is a city, and it was referred to at the announcement of this major project by Hyatt Brown of a hidden gem, and we're talking about the project at the Museum of Arts and Science and their contribution for that, and it is making waves statewide. People in the arts community are talking about what's happening in Daytona Beach with that. To have people who want to take a hidden gem, so to speak, and make it a regional attraction, but to have it be a City of Daytona Beach facility. Your thoughts on that when you got that news, that you heard that was kind of on the horizon? What was your initial reaction to that?
Well, my reaction is the same that it has been about CC and Hyatt from, I don't know, maybe from the time that I was appointed or elected as mayor, because shortly thereafter they opened the CC and Hyatt Brown Museum, which is really its best in class. There's nothing like it in Florida, really perhaps nothing like it in the country in terms of its emphasis on a state and the art of a state. I don't know of another museum that approaches it from that level of excellence. So that's just one thing. Then you look at what they were able to do at Stetson, what they did to support, and I'm a Stetson alum. So I just feel the benefits of Hyatt and CC all across the board. Then we look at what they were able to do at Embry-Riddle and helping us to attract Boeing. And then, you look at what they did at the park. And the park while it's amazing, and I never thought that they could supersede what they've done at the park. But one thing about Hyde and CC that I appreciate is that when they do something, they research it, they study it, because you don't become a billionaire and I don't want to talk about his money, but you don't reach the level of success that he has without doing your homework, being responsible with your resources. So when he puts his name on something, or they put their name on something, they study it, they research it, they put their intellect, their insight into it as well. So the museum is not going to the next level. It's going to another stratosphere of excellence and greatness. And what is all of that, all of those things that I just named, what do they do for the brand of Daytona Beach? I have said, and I say this over and over, every community should be fortunate enough to have a CC and Hyatt Brown. But I'm glad that we have CC and Hyatt Brown.
Agreed. So we've got just a couple minutes left. I want to touch on two other things real quick before we wrap up. One, the idea of the new sports facility that's being considered west of I-95 and what that might bring to the city of Daytona Beach, because it's, from what I've read, offers a lot of different kinds of things to attract people. What can you share about that a little bit?
Well, the idea is that we know that in America, in Florida in general, there are just a plethora of facilities that communities build because youth sports have really just gone to another level. And we want to become a part of that. We have the brand, we have the name, we're a destination, our location. People want to come to Daytona Beach. We want to create another reason for people to come to Daytona Beach. We want to create another outlet for people who live in Daytona Beach. And we acknowledge that this, and we have for a long time, is an opportunity for us to expand the brand of Daytona Beach and to give people another option, put more heads in beds, give people another reason to come to our community. And we think that we've got a good shot if we can do what we do better than most people, which is collaborate, bring the right people to the table, put the resources in motion, and not be in a rush, because this is a process or a situation that's going to take some time. But anything great and anything worthy of what we want to be takes time. And I'm happy to be in this position at the start. I don't plan to be here in this position for the finish. So I say that to say that it's going to take a while to do that project. Yeah. But I'll be able to look back, hopefully, and we'll be able to say, got started during this time.
I want to ask you about one last project that I know you were integral to being part of. You traveled with folks to New York City to talk about this, but the renovations that are underway at Jackie Robinson Ballpark, and you touched on the heritage. I mean, I don't think the locals realize the historical significance of that location, but the idea of making that a world-class facility. Minor League Baseball is one of the best things going. I've always been a big fan, and Jim Jaworski and the team at the Daytona Tortugas, they do it right. But to have that, the idea of a Jackie Robinson museum, a place for people to gather. I know you travel to talk with folks at Major League Baseball up in New York City with a host of folks. Are you as excited as I am about that project?
I am, and when we visited the Jackie Robinson Museum and met with the team that executes the world-class facility, we went away inspired, but two, hopeful. They believe in Daytona Beach. They believe in the brand. They believe in the fact that this is where Jackie got his start, and they believe in the way that we do things. So the hope is that we, again, will be able to collaborate with them, learn from them, and put forth a project that will make our community proud, but that will also represent Jackie's legacy. And I think that's what attracted them to the idea of helping us, because they knew that that's what we want to do. We know that we're sort of the birthplace, and I refer to us as the birthplace of the civil rights movement because of that day that he integrated baseball. But at the end of the day, I think that we're going to be able to come together with something that will make our community proud. And will be a destination that people can visit and say, wow, Jackie really got his start here, and civil rights can be thankful because of it, and thankful because of Daytona Beach.
Well, I know I'm excited about it. There are a lot of folks in the community excited about that. So, Mayor, thank you so much for taking some time to visit with us today and kind of look back on 2024, but also get a glance at the year ahead.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Well, if you want to hear more from Mayor Derrick Henry and kind of what's on the horizon for the city of Daytona Beach, I would encourage you to mark your calendars for March for our Eggs and Issues program. It will be a State of the City program that the mayor is going to present and give even more detail than we've been able to include in this short episode here. Lastly, for Crest of the Wave, I want to encourage you to share Crest of the Wave, subscribe. We're on all the major platforms. We host videos on our YouTube channel. Make sure you're getting this great information out there. Plus, if you're looking to kind of promote your business in a cutting edge way, we have sponsorships available for the program as well, and we'll be happy to talk to you about that. But on behalf of the mayor, all of us here at the Chamber, we want to wish you a safe and happy holiday season, a prosperous 2025, and boy, who knows where Daytona Beach is going in the coming year. I think it's going to be a great thing. And with that, we'll close out this episode and hope that next time you are ready to catch the next Crest of the Wave. So long, everybody. If you enjoyed this podcast, please be sure to subscribe wherever you like to listen to podcasts. For more information on our business community, visit our website at DaytonaChamber.com. Until next time, be ready to catch the next Crest of the Wave.